Ladies and gents, beautiful people of planet Earth, I have some bad news. This episode of 1 year later is the second last episode that I have planned for this year. We're gonna revive the series next year once, the 2023 guys experience a Draft Plus 1 season, but for now, we're finalizing our last pickups for 2022's NHL Draft in terms of 1 year later videos, and the last episode is gonna be on Saturday. If you've been paying very close attention to the prospects, seeing who's poppin', who's not, and who's really climbing up the hype charts, you could kind of easily figure out who among the 2022 draft class we are missing from the 1 year later series. But that video is going to come later on. In today's video, we are talking about yet another potential steal of the Buffalo Sabres. Man, these guys, the Buffalo Sabres, just know how to make their draft picks. Today we're heading over to the last pick that the Sabres had in the 2022 first round, and talking about a guy that was acquired as kind of the proxy return in the Sam Reinhart trade. Today we're talking about the 28th overall pick, Jiri Kulich. Now, Kulich is a guy that, as we had said, is kind of the additional piece in that Reinhart deal. We already made a trade return finalized video for Sam Reinhart when he got traded away to the Florida Panthers, because in that return you had yourselves the signing rights to Devin Levi, who today is a beast of a goaltender in the Buffalo Sabres system, and a conditional 2022 first-round pick. Now, the Panthers went to the Stanley Cup Finals, so their pick was 28th overall, and with this pick, the Buffalo Sabres selected Kulich. Now, who exactly is Kulich? Well, he's a 19-year-old, 6'1", 185 left-handed center. He was born in Czechia, so he was a European skater, and in the 2022 draft rankings, he was ranked to go about where the Buffalo Sabres ended up taking him. He was ranked 29th by Elite Prospects, 27th by Future Considerations. There were some outlets, though, that had him a bit higher. Craig Button, 14. McKenzie, 18. McKeen's, 15. So, depending on who you asked, there was a very legit idea going around saying that Kulich could have been a mid-round pick. Alas, he dropped to the end of the first round, wherein the Buffalo Sabres took him up. Now, he had a really impressive draft season, because as a center, he was playing for HC Energy Karlovy in the Pro Czechia League, where he had 49 games played and 14 points. Now, that's not a terrible point production amount for a guy who's already playing in the top league in his country at 17, 18 years old. He was 17 for most of the season, actually. He also played for Team Czechia at the U18s, where he was the captain of Team Czechia. He posted up 11 points in 6 games over there, also 9 goals in the tournament too. And he suited up for Team Czechia's World Junior team. So as an underage player, triple underage, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, he had 8 points in 7 games played for the Czechs. This was one of the top point producers on the entire team, matching Jan Myškov of the Montreal Canadiens. He's a prospect in their system. And so for Kulich, he was already having a pretty good amount of hype heading into the draft because of his international success. Add to this the scouting report that Elite Prospects has written up on him. The Czech forward is moving in every direction on the ice with great speed, using the boards for sneaky maneuvers, and he was far the best skater on the ice in every game I have seen so far. He worked smart with the boards, with either sending the puck out into the defensive zone or just making a pass. Zone entries also did not seem like a problem for him. Now, I'll admit that scouting report doesn't really tell you too much about the guy other than his slipperiness on the boards and his adept ability to just maneuver around the ice. But the Dalibor Prospects report goes out there and says this, that Jiri Kulich is a solid two-way center with good size and skating ability. He makes good reads in the offensive zone, but needs to continue to add strength to his frame. Now, 6'1", 185 is not the worst thing in the world. It's pretty good, honestly. But there's always room to get yourselves more jacked up physically, so I could understand where this article is coming from. The Dalibor report of May 2022, so before the draft, also talks about him more, that he boosted his draft stock with a stellar showing at the U18s, tallying 9 goals and 2 assists through 6 games, earning the tournament MVP honors. He showed flashes of offensive potential playing against men in his native Czechia this season, but he was really able to show off his skills against his peers on the international stage, with his shot proving to be a dangerous weapon. It's important not to make too much of small sample sizes, but Kulich's performance at the U18s should make him a consideration for teams in the back half of the first round. And shot, my goodness, we can talk about shot all you want, because in the next season's worth of play, guess what? Kulich comes over to North America. He plays in the Rochester Americans AHL team. 62 games played, 24 goals, 22 assists, 46 total points, and he was a point per game for the team in the postseason as well, getting more goals than assists in the entire sample. This guy has a really great shot, and you also saw that present itself at the World Juniors. 9 points, 7 games played, 7 total goals, so this guy was going out there lighting the lamp as a member of the Sabres farm team this previous year. In fact, if you go over to Dalibor and read their report on May 2023, in his AHL rookie campaign, Kulich tallied 24 goals and 46 points, which ranked him 5th amongst Rochester Americans players and 1st among U20 players with the club. As an 18-year-old, his jump to the AHL was quite advanced. His development has shown excellent signs, and his success has continued throughout Rochester's ongoing AHL playoff run. He missed the start of the postseason due to injury, but returned for Game 3 against Syracuse with his team down 2-0 in the series. He started scoring a bunch of goals in the process. As a result of his assertive play with the puck, excellent use of his speed in two-way situations, and timely goal scoring, Kulich was named to the tournament's Media All-Star team, along with fellow forwards Connor Bedard and Logan Cooley. 2022-2023 has been an elite year for last year's 28th overall selection, written by Kevin Wong. Now, part of the reason that Kulich is so intriguing today is because the preseason in the NHL is going on, and you have a few clips going around of Kulich absolutely loading up and firing from that right faceoff circle. The Kucherov spot, as you could dub it. This guy's going out there and hammering pucks on goal. Now, sure, some of these miss the net, some of these ring off the post, and some of these get saved. He's not going to score on every shot now, but just seeing that skill be put on display in the preseason in the NHL, this is a good sign. The guy's only 19 years old, so there's a lot of time for Kulich to become an effective NHL player, and he is, of course, one of many Buffalo Sabres prospects that happens to be young and who happens to have potential. Kulich is just one of the better ones, I would say. And when you think about some of the other players in the 2022 draft, especially in the first round taken before Kulich, he's had a really strong draft +1 that it's honestly kind of incredible to note. He went from the Pro Czechia League to the AHL, looked seamless in his transition, got better as the year went on, dominated international tournaments, and now is looking like a legit, speedy, two-way center option with a really great goal-scoring touch as a top 6 potential prospect in the future. If you told me that Sam Reinhart was going to get traded initially for what was going to be the goalie of the future for the Sabres, as well as this guy, a player who was looking so good right off of the draft, that would have been a crazy good return. And I feel like for the Sam Reinhart truthers out there, because I know y'all do exist, he's a very good player. Sam Reinhart is, of course, playing in Florida, doing his thing. He is still an effective player. But contextually speaking, with the contract situation in mind with Reinhart, with the goaltender addition with Devin Levi in there too, this is an absolute win of a trade for the Buffalo Sabres fan base. And even for Reinhart too, I mean, the guy went to the gosh darn finals last year. So I don't think any Panthers fan is going to go out there and complain. So if you're a Buffalo Sabres fan, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Jiri Kulich and the way he's played 1 year after getting drafted? He had a really great draft +1 in my opinion, and honestly, it's one of the more underrated and maybe under the radar type of seasons we have seen, because it's rare to see a guy who was taken at the end of the first round really make that huge jump to the AHL with such ferocity. He's got so many goals, he's got so many points, he dominated the international scene. There's nothing more you could have asked for out of this guy, except for maybe like a cup of coffee at the NHL level. But that will come in due time, he's only 19. Thoughts in the comment section below about Jiri Kulich. This is the second last episode of 1 year later for this year. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.